We back, man. Quick turnaround.
Yeah.
What was that? 4 days?
Yeah.
Friday,
Oh
Saturday,
yeah, we
Sunday.
did. We did. We went quick on this one.
That's right. Welcome back to part 3 of 12 and a half by Gary Vaynerchuk. This is the Book Club Bros.
Back to back.
There we go.
My name is Chase. I'm with Landon and Miguel. Guys, how was your
What
reading this weekend?
What up?
It was good. Got not quite as dense as some of the other ones. A lot of more practical scenarios and stuff like that he went into this week. So
Yeah, low key. We were talking about it. I don't know. Miguel made it pretty. It's okay.
it's a lot of application
yeah,
stuff.
bro.
It's a lot of
It's-
application
it
stuff.
is.
Well, the
It
problem
is.
is,
Like,
the
okay.
problem for me was like a few of these scenarios were like, not me personally, but I was like kind of dealing with something along those lines, and I was like, oh, it gave me kind of a good avenue. And then the other ones, I felt like I was just working through it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like almost like looking through the problems, but luckily, at least for me, I did have like a couple
Me
scenarios
too.
where I was like, all right, this one, like I've been through this, or I've
I think.
you know like kind of going through that.
I agree. I think there was like maybe one or
But
two.
even then, it's like I felt like we had been highlighting like profound stuff dating all the way back to the 48 laws to this, and then now it's whenever you're dealing with more of the scenario stuff, it's just tougher to find the juicy highlights,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot more stuff in the part 3 that's coming up. With
Part 4.
Well, no.
The part three
in
of
the
the
book.
for
In
part
part 4,
Okay.
yeah, where it's like doing the exercises
Right.
like ourselves. So that'd be
Right,
interesting. But
right.
I forget where we started off on. Was it like
should've
120?
It was 88.
Oh,
been-
88?
88.
All right, that's right.
Ended
That's right.
near.
Oh, right. Correct.
Ended
Ended
near
at
an
120.
87 or
And then it was up to
9.
scenario 18.
up to scenario.
Yep,
That's what
yep.
it was. All right. Yeah, so
Sure.
page 88 all the way up to 127 before scenario 18 is what we read. So, guys, you guys got anything so far? I only have literally one highlight. That's all I have. I read this weekend.
Mhm.
I was like, my fiance and I were like, let's try something different. So we went to the park and we brought some chairs and brought an umbrella and like walked out. It was like super shallow, so we walked out into the water,
Just
placed down
planted.
some chairs, and then had a little umbrella. Put my feet in the water. It was nice, and then it started raining. So then it was like
Oh.
huddling
Dude, the rain.
huddling
raining like
underneath while it
crazy
was
down here.
pouring. but-
Oh, no.
So I also didn't have a highlighter, so I have literally one highlight in my notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I
It
can
was
carry
alright.
conversation a little bit this week. I must have done more. I did more highlighting than you
I
guys.
got one on page 90. That's about it.
So I'll read you on 88 just because I wrote down like I circled this whole thing because I thought it
Mhm.
was basically a good tone setter for everything you've been reading. He says, I know in these scenarios I've used some pretty aggressive examples as what ifs, like me dying in a plane crash on the way to a conference or your daughter dying of alcohol poisoning. They may seem too extreme and unlikely, but these are things that actually happen in the world. I find that most of us dwell on stuff that ultimately doesn't matter because we lose the context of how lucky we are when those extreme events don't happen. I apologize that I've been aggressive so far, but I will continue to be this way because it's my truth. And I thought that this was cool because one, it sets his personality. Like I put down like unapologetic, and I also put like society doesn't like want to acknowledge this as much, in my opinion. Like it's a lot easier to be like I'm not the person that says, well, people are dying everywhere as an excuse of whenever something's like a big deal. I'm the one where it's like people are dying everywhere. Like people are dying in car crashes. I'm not like someone that's people are dying in car crashes. I'm like people are dying in car crashes. So I feel like you can look at the world like, oh, those are extreme scenarios that doesn't happen, but like it does happen.
Yeah.
So I think that, I think if we're going through our daily life and just not really taking the time to properly like analyze certain things, I don't know. I just thought that was a cool point that he put out there.
Oh man, it is. It is. Just because it's so true. Like we want most of the time we want to sugarcoat things. Well, not we, but
Sugarcoat.
Yeah,
Sugarcoat is what it is.
yeah. In general, just the news, the media, everything is like, oh, this stuff you shouldn't be talking about this, but it's reality. Unfortunate sometimes, but it is the reality.
And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you gotta. It's not worth talking about all the time, but it does feel like certain things. Like the reality is, there's a lot that we don't know, and it is just easier to not talk about it than to be like, hey, than to question something or stuff like that. And in the United States, questioning stuff normally leads to like a lot of controversy and pushback and stuff. So it's just interesting. I don't know.
Or you disappear.
Or you disappear.
Yeah, I liked it because it's like an extreme version of optimism.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like no matter what, like when you're down bad, like if you take a step back, you could be down really bad.
Yeah.
And like so then you're just like, all right, like That's true. Like nothing like truly life shaking happened when this business deal didn't work out. Like I'll be okay.
Exactly.
So that's what I got around it.
That's a good
but
way to look at it.
yeah, I think it's
It
just optimism to like the extreme,
Mhm.
where it's like like hey, we all showed up today at this podcast. Like no mater what, like today's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
Regardless.
No doubt.
All right. Anyone got anything on 89?
Yes. So the scenario for this, it's like a follow-up question. But he says, it's tough to feel gratitude when you're in the heat of the moment. How do you do that? And the following lines are, many people misunderstand gratitude. They think you should be grateful for material things, a nice car, a mansion, a fancy watch. Gratitude is best when it's grounded in simplicity. I'm grateful for the people closest to me. Wow. I'm grateful that the people closest to me are healthy and alive. And I mean, that just sums it up from what you just said. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like it's the simple fact that we just showed up today. Like we're all here. We're good. So
I think that's good. Is like a really good baseline. Like he talks about like a foundation, like just beneath that, or I guess you read it. He said it's best whenever it's grounded in simplicity. And I feel like for me personally, whenever there's something that you really want or that you're working towards, call it a material, say it's a car or something like that. Once you get it, it's like an extreme like gratitude overload. And then once you stop feeling as like grateful for that car, it's almost like whenever you expect something to give you long-term gratitude or appreciation, like it's no reason why like you can feel yourself like flailing, like why was I not happy about that, or why do I not feel the same way about that, and then you end up setting yourself up to be more frustrated or whatever if you put your hope or happiness or whatever in just material things.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else we got on 89, or that was it?
No, that was it. And then like literally from here on out, I just started highlighting like small quotes. So on 91, one of the things I highlighted, he says, freedom comes in either extreme wealth or extreme perspective. And he's saying extreme perspective is truly liberating. And I really agree with that, because if you like think about it, bro, how many times have we been on here talking about how the people who don't understand these certain things, like it's going to be hard for them. Life is just going to be hard for them in general. But like the people who understand how to flip perspective or look at things in a different light than what they initially feel, and just trying to take it into a positive way, like that's how you continue to keep growing. That's how you start to become better as a person each and every day. So
I feel like that's how you unlock peace.
exactly.
I like that's how
yes.
you unlock peace. That's how I look at it. It's like it's not for everyone. It's for the people that like work for it. It's like a certain type of, like I don't really see, like the more that I read and stuff like that, the more that I dive into different things and analyze this. Like I think peaceful people work to get there.
Yeah.
I like whatever it is, like they don't, because I don't think peaceful people get to lash out and like go crazy and stuff like that at other people like the aggressive people or intense people get to do. They don't feel that same type of peace. So it's like you're either peaceful, I mean you can have flashes of whatever, but like you're either peaceful and you understand how to get there, or you don't, because otherwise there's just so much that can go wrong on a daily basis that you got to find a way to keep moving.
Yeah, I think it almost goes back to like laws of 48 powers, where it's like it's easier to lash out than to compose yourself.
Yes.
So like working on that.
It's human nature.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think he talks about it in here.
Yeah.
No,
He
but
does
it's
later on.
no, he does. He talk about it later on.
Yeah.
Or I highlighted it then, but it like relates really perfect to now. Just like foreshadow where he's like, even from a baby, you have to learn to not just be selfish.
Yeah.
And want stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
So.
So my highlight was on page 90, and I only highlighted this because it literally because I remember Miguel, you were talking about it. You were talking about like, oh, like your dream thing was making 500K a year.
Yes.
And then in the highlight on page 90 at the bottom, it says, the reason I keep talking about redefining success is I think we're approaching the dawn of an era when people actually believe what I'm saying, which is it's much more fun to make 130K a year and be happy than 470K a year and be miserable. And I was like, oh, that's so crazy, because we were just talking about your example with that.
And that was basically the decision we made, and it was for both of us, because I made a pretty big leap on coming down here to Florida to pursue this, but he made a big leap as with his degree. Like he could have out of college, he could have been doing something entire. We could have been doing stuff entirely different and
Yeah.
making more money. Like
Easily.
we were helping out his family, we were building our business and stuff like that. From the jump, like if we just wanted to make more money and that's all that mattered, then we would have just like worked for people.
Yeah.
We would have just gone and worked for companies or whatever. So I thought it was cool too. I just didn't highlight it, but I mean, the idea that more people are starting that entrepreneurial is like it's in right now to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what
Kinda,
it is.
so it's
yeah.
like-
Did you see? Side note: did you see the freaking thing on Twitter or X? This kid got absolutely roasted
Mm-mm.
by, you know how like Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
where like it will like
I'm
fact
getting
check it.
corrected now by saying Twitter. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but you know how they like they'll post like a fact check where it's like a claim
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
like
yeah,
they'll come
yeah,
out. Bro, I'll have to show you. It's literally this kid and he's posting with a Ferrari and it's like join my group or whatever. Like we had such a great year. Da 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 da.
And it's got like a flag, like a warning on it or something.
No, well yeah. So in the corner of the Ferrari, it says it's got like a handle and it's like exotic rentals or whatever. And bro, like the literally caption says, if you look in the top right, there's a little caption saying that it's an exotic rental. He doesn't own the car. And I was like, you gotta just delete the account, bro.
Yeah.
You're just off that platform for now.
It's crazy. I've seen people like just like like Twitter fact checking essentially right now.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at this like fight that happened. Da, da, da. It's like they just happened. It's like this fight happened in 2012 outside of New York City, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah. But I thought it was just, like,
misinformation, man. I hate,
that's good perspective.
dude. I hate misinformation.
Me
I
too.
think it's just the dumbest thing ever. I don't find it funny. I refuse to let myself find it funny just because it's so ridiculous. Like the impersonating of athletes and stuff like that, or the
Yeah.
president or something like. Because I just can't imagine even being that famous, and then like your grandma or something sees it on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. If someone's like, just the rumors. I have a weird soft spot for that.
Yeah.
No, bro, it
I have
sucks.
a weird soft
Because
spot
even
for that.
so, even this past weekend, like I saw a post. It said Cooper Flag played Bradley Beal
Dude,
one-on-one at the camp,
I'm saying.
and they said Bradley Beal was getting upset, and Bradley Beal's in the comments like he posted. He said cap, but he posted like the emojis,
Yeah,
like
the cap
laughing with
emojis,
the
yeah,
cap
yeah, yeah.
emojis. I'm like, bro, this is so crazy.
Did you see Cooper come out and say?
No, I didn't see him
Dude,
say anything.
he literally he was at Steph Curry's camp, mic'd up, and he was like, "Oh yeah, but hey, I gotta actually shut that down right now. Me and Brad never play one-on-one. There was no one-on-one.
That is
There's no
so
beef. I
crazy.
got nothing wrong with Brad. So real quick, where's the camera at? Where's the camera right there? Yeah, make sure you set the record straight." I'm like, you should not have to be doing that.
Yeah,
Who in the world just said that he's cooking Bradley Beal for fun?
yeah.
People like stirring
It's
the pot.
just
man.
so
They do.
random.
People
That
love
is
stirring the
so
pot.
freaking random, bro.
But yeah, that's the only thing I had on page 90. You have anything, Lando?
I push all the way up to 98. So do you got any highlights in between there? Is where my next one's
I
at.
have one on 93, but it's a short one.
it real quick.
Once again, if you're aware of your weaknesses and recognize that you're not that special to begin with, then you're not stunned when other influencers are starting to outperform you. And this, just to give a
Mm.
little pretext to it, he's talking about how like you can start a business, you can like the first person to hit 1 million followers on Instagram, boom, like you got it so easily. The algorithms were different, but as the years go by, things change and you have to adjust to it. And he's just basically saying like if you don't understand that you are not adapting, or if you're doing something wrong and you're not adjusting it, then it makes sense that other people are just going to continue to grow and you stay at that 1 million and that's it within the next 7 years. So yeah, bro, it's just being aware of yourself. I think that's always a big thing, just self-reflecting and those checkpoints. Like you got to understand your data and check your data, check your like progress, however you want to do it, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, you still have to do that.
I like that.
Yeah, that was a good section about that where the one person blew up and then
Yeah.
everyone else caught up to him.
Right.
And he's stagnant.
So
But okay, so then Laney, you had something on 98.
Yeah, so up on 98, kind of midway through, it said, and this is like, I said this is more like a personal thing, but it says, one of the things that irks me the most is people saying, I don't have time whenever I ask them to try something new. I found that people who claim their time is valuable actually have the least valuable time. And I was like, this is, so whenever for work, like I've never really had an issue with like grinding and stuff like that, like putting the work in and stuff like that. But when it comes to like, I don't have time, that's like something that just personally I've had to put a checker on, because it's like I'll just use that if I don't want to do something. Like if I feel like I don't want to do something, and I'm trying to find the balance of like I don't want to do something because I've never done that before and I just don't want to do it, or I don't want to do something because I actually don't want to do it. And the more that I break it down in my head, usually I'm just like I just don't feel like doing it. And just for me personally, I've been trying to go out and do more stuff. So open up more windows, just kind of feel it out. I mean,
A lot
Yeah,
of new
bro.
stuff.
not
Or just,
necessarily
like-
new stuff, but just hang out with people.
Yeah.
Because I have been more so like just work and go home. It's also like no sports going on right now, so I need to
Yeah,
be getting
it's-
out and doing stuff, because once the sports start, I probably will be a little more glued to the TV. But no, I've just been trying to do it, just test out some different things. But I like that he said. I just thought that was kind of a cool liner. Like people that say, hey, I don't have time, tend to
Yeah.
have the least valuable time. Like they're not being productive with it. Oh, because the busy people are always, I'll make time for you. And the not productive people are always, sorry, I don't got time. Okay, I'll have to do it later.
Or
You
they'll
know
be
what
like,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, let's hang
Catching
out,
up.
let's hang out, and then it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
never
I do.
happens.
I mean, I have a bad habit of doing that, especially with my friends. I'm just like, yeah, let's go do something, and then I'm just like,
Life
ghost.
happens, man. You
There's
need
a
the ones that
difference,
know
though.
that. You need
Yeah,
the ones
yeah,
that
there
know.
There is a
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
There-
You're
There's a
right.
definite difference.
Because there's an intent you want to, and
Yeah.
then something else comes up. It's
Mhm.
when the people that don't have the intent,
Mhm.
that do say that they want to, and they also have the time, and they don't make the time
Yeah.
to do it.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Just gotta line up.
I'm gonna go back real quick on 96. He's talking about like just having a business and all that stuff. Furthermore, owning 50% of a business that makes 2 million a year is better than owning 100% of a business that's making 300K and declining. I think it's just a idea that people should think about, because there's so many billionaires out here that don't own 100%. Like, I mean,
They own
that's just
2% of everything.
exactly, and that's just the reality of it. And I think what that does is, I mean, I've always wanted that as like a similar business model. So only because of the fact that you can put in all your effort, but it's such a focused amount of effort. You know you're gonna give it your all, but you stay within. I mean, of course, there's points where you can go above and beyond, but it's focused, so you know what you have to do exactly. So you put 100% of your effort into it, but at the same time, the way you can make more money is you get a piece of every little thing along the way. So at that point, you have 2% of, like he said, 2% of $1 million, and all you have to do is like a certain amount of work, and then the rest is just your passive income. Just think about it, guys. That's all.
Teamwork's tough. Teamwork's tough for some people, though.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's
the
true.
thing. It's like teamwork can be tough for some people.
That is very true. You have to be a certain type of individual to be able to handle that as well. So
Yeah.
Because that's what they say. Like I feel like once you create something, it is like just the human nature to kind of feel a little bit more entitled for it if you create your own thing. So
Mhm.
it's like as a business owner and stuff like that, it is that like that's why he kind of it's one of those things you put it out there, because it's like, hey, if you don't, you can gloss over it, but if you don't really take this to heart, you may struggle. You
Yeah.
may not. Like I feel like there's always the ones that make it. Like there's always the outliers. That's the problem. Like you need a model for the everyday person, not for the boy wonder or the just the outlier effector.
Mhm.
In my opinion,
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
sure.
a balance too.
there's
Yeah,
definitely a balance.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I agree with Miguel that like certain things, like if you want to take it to certain levels, you're gonna need other people's help.
Yeah.
But I also think like it's also really nice, like us three, like we all come from team sports,
Mhm.
so we know that like
yeah, exactly.
we can't win a 5-on-1 or play a baseball game 1v9.
Mhm.
So like you're gonna need to depend on others, and others are gonna have those specialties to help you.
I know this isn't where you were going with that, but I was thinking about this the other day. What other sports just 1-on-9 when you're the batter out there. You got the pitcher with 9 guys or 8 guys out there, and you're just trying to hit the ball, and then the second you hit the ball, it's 1-on-9, all trying to get you out. I don't know what led me to this train of thought, but football, you're 11-on-11, 5-on-5 for basketball, but at a certain point in time, it's one dude walks to the plate. It's just 1-on-9.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was in my head.
That's why people. I mean,
It's interesting. Like, it's just interesting to me. Every other sport, snap, it's like 11-on-11. It's 5-on-5. But baseball, once the ball is pitched, it's literally a whole team versus one dude in the box
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to. It's just a weird.
that is crazy to think
Isn't that
about,
weird
bro.
to think about?
That
Think about
is.
the other sports.
Yeah.
The
'Cause even-
second that the ball is thrown, it's like the ball's in play. It's all 9 guys setting up to get this one dude out.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me.
That's why, bro. Baseball is a tough sport. I don't care what anybody says. Like,
It's
even
tough.
if you're not like a true fan,
should-
like you have to understand that's a tough sport.
It ain't easy.
Yeah.
It ain't easy. Okay.
All right,
We'll
moving
keep
on.
it moving on. What do
What
we
do we
got?
I got one on 108.
Here, real quick,
Jumping.
I just
Yeah,
want to say on
yeah,
100 real quick, I thought it was funny how we had the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills to go to the Super Bowl in 2021. And then he was talking about Patrick Mahomes, and I just loved reading that.
Yeah, no, it was good.
All right, on to 108. I had to. Oh, my gosh. That's great.
So it says patience helps take the pressure off. People put so much pressure on themselves to hit arbitrary timelines. They think they have to be at a certain place in their careers by the time they're 22, 30, 40, 45, or 55, or 65 years old. How about being happy instead? That one hit. That one definitely hit. I mean, like you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
bro, like I had these set numbers that I wanted to be at, and like, of course, at that point it was like, man, I didn't hit it, but luckily I had the perspective to be like, okay, I didn't hit that, but like this is what I got along the way, so it's a win regardless, and in turn I'm happy with that. So that's always going to be the most important thing. Just be happy with what you're doing. If you can do that, you'll be okay.
I think I think you have to find ways to be happy, because how many stories are out there that, some little kid that could have been the next Michael Jordan just ended up hating the sport. Ended up hating the sport and just like going off and literally being like, I don't even want to touch a basketball now, let alone. So like, you don't even see him anymore. It's like if they took a different route and they're like, I'm just going to go play street ball, or I'm just going to play pickup when I want to, you still see this person, but like they're just, oh, I could have been the next one perfectly set up, but instead like, I don't like it, whatever. So that's why I'm always like, you have to find ways to keep having fun. Like if you're doing it and you're just like, I used to be that way. I used to try and get a lot of motivation from like underdog type stuff,
Yes.
like chip on your shoulder type stuff. And it's like, you just have to be careful using, like I think it talks about in the
It
book,
does.
careful pulling all of your energy from that, because then like who's there whenever you get to the top?
Yeah.
You've like,
You
just-
burned your way.
yeah,
Yeah.
burn,
Burn all your
go
bridges.
scorched earth on everyone.
Right.
And then you just
You're sitting
get
on
to
an
the,
island.
just to get to the top.
Yeah, bro.
Because like they talk about it in politics, but like for business, that's not the way to do it. Like for politics, you get to the top almost by stepping on your opponents, but like that's not the way that we want to get
It's
to
not
the
the
top.
good way,
That's
man.
not the good way. And
But it's funny that you mentioned the whole like a kid grows up and they don't want to play that specific sport, but they're just super talented at it. So when I was learning how to box for like a year and a half, one of my coaches, he won a bunch of boxing. He never like went and turned professional, but he just had all these accolades like Golden Gloves, trophies, everything.
like amateur type,
yeah,
like just a bunch
exactly.
of rewards.
So he knew, like, I mean, at that level, like you have an understanding of what somebody can do, and so he would always tell me, be like, I wish you didn't quit boxing, because from that year and a half, like you improved so much so quickly, and like I could just tell like how hard you were working. You would have been something good, but I hated boxing.
Yeah.
Like I hated actually being in the ring, and like the workouts were fun. The practice was great. I was in the best shape of my life, but like once that bell rung and it was like, okay, like you have to hit this other person. I used to feel so bad. Even when I was
Dude,
My
I could
first fight,
never,
bro.
man.
first sparring match, I got punched. I don't know if I told you guys, but
Nah.
I got punched so hard my whole spine cracked. Like I could hear it crack. Because my head turned and like I just got hit that hard,
You went
bro.
to a chiropractor
Bro.
appointment in one hit?
Literally, bro.
You got a full adjustment.
It was so bad, but I just think of that because I'm like, I hated it. I hated it so much, but everybody would always tell me like, man, you're doing so good at this, like, and it was never gonna happen.
And it almost makes you put a whole new level of respect on him because I feel like you have to be a certain type of way to be able to get into that ring and be ready to just
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to take this person
Yep.
down. Because I wouldn't want to kill someone, but you almost have to act like you're trying to kill someone.
yeah,
Like every single punch you're trying to hit may or may not.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you expect that person to then like do an interview and then be normal in the world. Like that's what's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's
a
basically
true
like veterans
professional.
and stuff.
exactly,
Yeah, like
exactly.
yeah, like that's wow.
Yeah.
I mean
'cause
that's
know-
why
know
that's
how
why
to-
they make the money. That's why they make their money.
That's
That's
And
exactly.
they should.
very impressive.
They should.
Can never do it.
No
Never,
doubt.
never. All right. That's cool though. That was a cool little story. I never knew
Yeah,
about it.
bro. That
I
was
knew- I
that
knew-
was it was fun
That's
for the workouts.
Did
and
you do a
stuff, but-
knock? Did you get any knockouts or anything like
so
that?
I had it's funny because this kid, he was like technically like my rival. I don't know. It was funny. The
this
whole
is so-
situation was
I'm
crazy.
just imagining. Just go watch what's that boxing movie that was on Disney. That's how I got my thing. He was like the double dutcher, but he also did the
I don't know.
oh maybe
Oh,
you know what I'm
I
talking about.
kinda did.
Corbin. He was
I don't think
Corbin
I've seen that.
something.
Corbin Blue.
Might have been
I
before
don't
your
know.
time.
But so the kid, so I was at the police athletic league in Jacksonville. We had one like on 40, I think it was 49th Street. This is like the hood. Like I don't even know how my mom's boyfriend at the time like found it, but it was just tucked away like in the hood. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be. I mean, I grew up in a rough part of town, but still, like, you don't want to have to go in there and do all that. But so this one was here, and then we had one on Monument Road, and that was like the really nice one. It was huge. Like they had the nice courts in there, and the gym was. I mean, the gym was smaller, but they had better equipment. So there's this one kid. I forgot his. No, I think his name was Jonathan. This white dude. He's like 5'10", and I'm like 5'6", and we're in the same age, but he was just so much taller than me. So we sparred for the first time, right? And my coach is like, you can get this kid, trust me. Like he's not that good. His arms are so like my arms are short. I just told you guys a story before we started the pod, but my arms are super short. So like I didn't know at the time, technically speaking, like in boxing, when you're facing somebody with longer arms, you have to like be able to like find your way inside to get in close.
Yeah, getting close. I've heard
Exactly.
it, but I don't know what
Yeah.
it means necessarily.
So I had to do all this stuff just to get inside and get to be able to
Right,
throw
to-
a
to
punch,
land.
bro.
Yeah, you gotta get closer to him. That by nature sounds more uncomfortable.
Exactly, bro. So I'm just, and it sucks because this kid, like, he knew how to throw a jab. So every time I would like try to move, he's jab, 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 and I'm getting touched up, and I'm like, oh my god, bro. And so my coach is like, all right, like he's doing all this, just stay the course. Like, I really don't want to do this anymore, coach, but
Blow
like
after
let's
blow
keep
after
going.
blow.
Yeah, bro. And so I finally it was like the third round of our sparring. He's like, all right, throw this combo. It's a 1-2 and then a 3. So it's jab, right cross, left hook, but he was like, throw it to his body. He's not protecting his body at all. I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna try this. And this is like the first time I actually tried to do a combo in sparring. So I threw the jab, didn't get him, threw the 2, didn't get him, but he was covering up his face the whole time. I
Right.
threw the left hook. He took a knee, and I'm like,
Oh, damn.
bro, I was so
You made him
turned.
touch grass.
I was so
Made him touch
turned off of that.
grass.
Like he took a pause, but then after that, it was just like, all right, we're done, and that was it. But I've seen some brutal stuff in the gym,
Dude, I
bro.
bet, man.
I've seen some
There-
very bad.
There's like a boxing gym like right up the street.
yeah,
There's a
Yeah.
Mayweather one over by
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
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 right over
yeah,
by
yeah.
our spot. There's a
Yeah,
Floyd
bro.
Mayweather
Yeah,
one.
man.
bro.
Crazy.
Brutal. I saw this one kid. He was like, so the dude that punched me and I told you my whole spine cracked. He was like 16 at the time. I'm only like 12 or 13. But
God.
yeah, bro.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
To
We,
the wolves. Throw him to the
we
wolves,
didn't
man.
we didn't have too
It's
many
a
people in there, so it
doggy
was
Just
just
dog.
gonna
Bro.
rocket sock
Bro.
Miguel over here.
bro.
Beating up a kid. It's
So-
child abuse.
Right.
The other gym came to our gym for the first time, and then they had a new kid. He was like 6'2", and the dude that I was fighting, Trayvon, he was probably like 5'10". The other kid's like 6'2". So the other kid came in and he's just like, oh yeah, coach, like I'm trying, like I want to fight him, like I want to spar with him, and my coach was like, are you sure? Are
Right.
you absolutely sure you want to do this? And like just Trayvon's like, bro, he's a big dude. To be 5'10", he's like real stocky. His
Stocky.
arms are long, so like when he catches you with one, you're
Mm.
gonna get all of it. So they start the bell rings, ding ding ding. The other kid's like coming out confident, throwing his jab, boom, getting through it. Trayvon ducked one, hit him with a left hook and then a right cross, and the kid was just completely shook from there. After the second round of sparring, the other coach was just like, "Yeah, he
Waited.
he
Yeah.
can't take this. Like this is too much for him." And I'm just like, "Bro,
Dude,
I
it's,
understand. He cracked my spine." Like, I know.
it's such high, dude. It's such high risk, high reward. Like every time you throw a big punch, if it misses, you might get
Right.
cold
Yeah.
cocked
Yeah.
and go to
Exposed.
sleep.
Yes.
But if it
Yeah.
lands, you're gonna be celebrating that
Yeah.
night
Dude,
and
it's
popping
crazy.
bottles.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's like-
it's literally fighting for your life.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Bro, it's
those
Such high
calculated
stakes.
risks.
combat sports. Just yeah.
I
Shout out to
couldn't
that.
do it. Yeah, and then there's even UFC, man.
Yeah,
Not
that's
about that with legs flying
Bro.
and
There's
stuff.
bare knuckle boxing now. Watch out.
I've seen that when it was here, bro. I went to the
That
event.
Francis Ngannou. Wait, you went and watched it live?
Yes, bro. Bare
What?
knuckles is crazy.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna have to take a side
I
note. There,
know, bro.
there wasn't much in this book. Now
Yeah,
you
no.
watched bare knuckle boxing.
Bare knuckle. So the BKFC. When I was working with another company, like we were a sponsor for it. So like they were like, yeah, we're gonna go to the fight. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. So I'm just sitting there filming like ringside, just capturing whatever I can.
What?
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. And then it's like
That's
a full. It was
nuts.
a full production. They had like the big crane machine in there, like
Wow.
swinging around. And this was at the Hard Rock.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
was it really?
Yeah,
Was it the
yeah,
Hard Rock?
yeah,
Okay.
it was a
When was this?
Bro, this is like 2 years ago
Oh,
now,
so
I
it's
think.
okay.
But
Tuesday.
yeah, bro, it was
Bare knuckle
crazy. Like
boxing.
those dudes, like, the tough part with that, like you're boxing, but you can't really cover up because you don't have gloves.
No. So you just
So,
gotta like dodge, right? You,
You
just gotta
either
actually-
that or
right.
you just like really have to just like figure out where they're gonna land at, and it's so much worse with them because, bro, the championship fight, I think it was a dude from Tampa fighting, and his opponent, bro, at the end of the fight, like huge cut over his eyebrow, huge cut under his right eye. It was so bad. I'm like,
They say
bro,
though when you get hit though,
it's better. It
it's
glances.
better.
Yeah.
It doesn't because with the glove there's more surface area.
Yep.
So you can actually make more brain damage.
Yeah.
No, I'm
compared
sure.
to
I mean,
physical.
yeah, to a certain.
But
yeah.
like,
But
I don't
that's
know,
what I'm
man.
saying.
One-
You're
Punching a
getting
human with your
one knuckle to
fist?
the
Yeah.
temple though is maybe
it'll be enough.
beat your maker.
It'll be enough. But that's what I'm
That's
saying, bro.
crazy.
For somebody to get cut up in a bare knuckle fight, like
Yeah.
you were getting
That's flush. That's
cooked.
that like
Yeah.
you know how. Have you ever been smacked so flush by something that your skin just opens?
no.
That's getting smacked.
No.
But that
That's
would
You
getting
have?
smacked. Yeah. Oh yeah.
How
Really?
did you get smacked
By
that
like
hard?
a by like a
Had to be with an
by like a
object, bro.
baseball bat.
Okay, yeah.
Had a baseball bat just smack my leg so flush
yeah.
that it just separated my leg.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I know it can happen.
If you can
It's
hit,
just
yeah,
never
if you
happened
hit
to me.
something hard enough, like it just like kind of just
Yeah.
opens up a little cut.
It'll
It's
just split.
crazy, but I feel
from
like
the
yeah, like
pressure.
a knuckle drag is definitely gonna open up some skin or something.
Yeah, bro.
Woof.
Holy
tough.
cow.
That's
All
tough.
right. Anyone else got anything left in this?
Dude, I don't even know if I, can
really don't
deliver
have
this
much.
quote.
I
I
mean,
don't
yeah,
even
go
know if I
ahead,
can
go
deliver
ahead.
this.
Yeah,
one.
what is
Okay.
it saying? Boxing. Everyone should box.
No, it says it's crucial, but we're coming off of a off of
man,
a.
come on.
It's crucial.
Let's
It's
go.
all right. I'm gonna try and get us back on
What
track.
page?
Maybe I should give a different one to ease us
Oh,
back
come
in.
on.
It's on 109. All right, here we go. Let's go.
Alright.
I wish more leaders would look at the whole picture of an employee's performance instead of asking, "What have you done for me lately?" In my organization, people might have periods of time where they work tirelessly and have periods of time where they're more passive. How many hours you put in at work depends on your serendipity of what you're working on, the stage in your career, what's going on in your personal life, and any number of other factors. Leaders need to be fair when they evaluate their employees' performance. I thought this was just good to know for people that like are managing people, but also just good to be able to consider like when you're dealing with people. It harps back with you never know what people are going through, but it's like the fact for me personally, I try and spin it because I know not everyone, because we know not everyone's reading.
Right.
So whenever you're dealing with people that you feel like aren't necessarily on that same wavelength, it's like you know that they don't know everything. So whatever they're saying, like you have to interact with them kind of on that basis, knowing that whatever they said to you, unless you know them personally, like you can gauge it like they didn't mean to hurt you like that. They didn't realize you were struggling with that, because if you struggle in silence or you work through your own stuff, like that's what you have to be able to kind of deal with on a
Yeah.
daily basis. I felt
Yeah,
like.
rarely will you know the full picture of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like that part.
Yeah,
I did
me
like
too.
that little.
I
was
think
pretty
it's
cool.
it's good. That's a good trait to have as a leader. Like you just have to have that compassion, that empathy to really understand like who you're with.
It's a
Or
real balance.
yeah, bro.
Because
Exactly.
like you don't know if they're just using you or not.
Yeah. That I mean that's the scary part.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You always gotta give
Certain
them the benefit
things.
of the doubt. Where was it? There was a part in here where they're talking about business partner. I think it's later.
Dude, yeah, he's like
And stealing money from him.
Mm-hmm.
100. What do you
Yeah.
say? Like 100 something, or not 100,000. It was like 250,000,
Dude, just like
300,000.
the way he went at it, where he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I need a bonus," and then you're like, "Oh okay," and then you go and check he's been already giving you the bonus.
I thought you were
or he's
talking
been-
about Gary Vee's situation.
No, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a scenario he laid out. I thought you were talking about when he actually was stolen from, and the guy that stole money from him. He had one.
I thought he was just talking about the scenario. I don't think he actually got money stolen from him.
I don't remember honestly.
Did, oh, you
I don't remember that part.
am I making that up?
Here, I'll look for it. I'll look for it.
Because I felt like there was a part in the story where he was like, you know, I had someone's. Maybe he did just do it for the entire for that own scenario. Maybe
Yeah.
it was just for that own scenario. I thought for some reason he related it back to himself, but I mean that's crazy.
I'll check it out. All right.
Is it scenario 17? You're running a business with a partner, Bob, 55 or 50-50.
Yes.
You work
yes.
with him for a long time and feel like he has a sense of who he is. Bob brings a lot of value to the company. His skill set complements yours. You
Did you
notice? Oh yeah, you notice that he's been taking extra money from the business for months, paying for personal things, vacations, and home improvements. What would you do?
Yeah. Read
Read his
that.
first
read
line.
that
What's
one
his
time.
first
read
line,
that.
bro?
Read
Yeah.
that entire thing, because I think that should be clipped. Right
The
there.
scenario. Scenario 17.
Or something.
You're running a business with a partner, Bob, 50-50. You've worked with him for a long time and feel like you have a sense of who he is. Bob brings a lot of value to the company and his skill set complements yours. He's been working with a bookkeeper to keep the finances in order, and you blindly trust him with that side of the business, while you're focused on driving the revenue. However, one day, Bob says that he's going to pay himself an extra bonus, so you decide to contact the bookkeeper yourself and see where the finances are at. You notice that he's been taking extra money from the business for months, paying for personal things, vacations, home improvements, and more. What would you do? Bro.
And I thought Gary Vee's first line that he delivered just is Gary Vee. Let you know,
Yeah.
like, just
Uh,
that's like of course he's still improving or whatever, but like that's like the wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Yeah,
Like-
no joke. The first thing that goes through my mind is I deserve this. I don't know,
How do you
man.
take
I
that
don't
ki-
think
that
I would
accountability
be
is
like that. My
crazy.
first thought.
I've
That accountability is that's like next level accountability.
It is. It definitely is.
Because I think he goes on to say, like, I mean, if I'm Bob, or if I'm whatever the other person's name is, and I'm not in charge of the finances and stuff like that, so I'm not regularly checking them or something like that, then that's how he tried to reason it for himself.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I deserve this. I had the ability to,
But-
have looked at the numbers. But that's a supreme level of accountability.
See, but I also disagree with Gary on this, because he says like, yeah, it's my bad because I could have checked the numbers at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he says I wholeheartedly trust him with the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's true. If he's running the numbers,
do you really trust him if you're
Yeah.
checking the numbers behind his back?
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was straight up too. He says paying for personal things, vacations, home improvements, and more. Because he said I think he tried to employ like maybe Bob is having but you can't reason finance. You can't be like, I'm missing rent if you're doing home improvements and going on vacations. So
Yeah,
like
right.
even in this scenario, I mean,
Yeah.
if he would have set it up a little bit differently, maybe, but there's no way to.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, can you imagine business partners, right? It's like come over. Hey, come over for dinner, man. We're gonna watch the game. Be like, oh,
Yeah,
bro,
bro.
you redid your kitchen? Yeah, man, it looks so nice. It's crazy. And then you find out that kitchen was paid with the
That'd be
business
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
That's over.
I mean, yeah,
If you can do
It's
that,
over.
if you can do that, you got to question friendship, because then
Exactly.
it's like you are either a supreme manipulator, because I don't know how there's nothing. I don't know how no one's picking up on anything there. The whole dynamic feels the same
Yeah.
as I'm showing you my new
yeah.
car that I is literally
Yeah.
on paid for. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're going on vacation, stuff like
Vacation,
that.
yeah,
like,
the
I
stuff
don't
like-
know. I think there's no way I'd be able to continue.
he spins
It'd
it.
be
He
over.
says
Yeah,
because
I
he
agree.
says I'm not gonna call myself an idiot, tell myself I'm being taken advantage of. Believe it or not, I'd be worried for Bob. I'd empathize. Like, is his marriage falling apart? Kid sick? Something like that. He kind of undercuts it with the vacations and home improvement things in the scenario 17. Like, I get it if it's like marriage falling apart, kids are sick, and I don't
You
get it.
have
I don't
to.
get it. But there's a way to like.
Yeah.
There's a way to explain it.
Yeah.
You can't like.
The
That's
one,
just selfishness.
yeah, I do agree with the way he approaches,
Mhm.
like sitting him down and be like, look, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I found this out, but I'm gonna give you one chance to come
Right.
clean. Like, are you just doing this because you're greedy, or are you doing this because like you're down bad,
Mhm.
something's getting rocked?
Mhm.
But other than that, if you come out and you say that, you know, oh, it was just my bad, or like
I would.
it's a wrap.
Yeah.
I think
don't know.
honestly, he says whether that turns out to be true or not, starting with that perspective
Yeah.
sets the framework.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're gonna consider yourself a boss, you have to do it, you know? Because like
That's
with
like the
us
kind
personally,
candor.
like what you would want to do is like blow up on them, but then you have to lean into that you're that type of boss.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna come sit down and be chill on the podcast studio and then blow up on like
Yeah.
I think that's where the growth and maturity comes into is you can get the same level of mad and not have to raise your voice.
Yes.
You know, it's like that's what's weird. Like you can get the same level of mad. You can be as competitive as the next guy and not have to like raise your voice or whatever. Like just how you can handle certain things.
Yeah. That scenario, I was
a-
like, yo, that'd be crazy. Because I was like thinking, like, if like Landon or if like I did it, I'd be like, there's
Yeah,
no
that would-
way.
There's no. Well, I
There's
mean,
no
this is
way.
smaller too. I feel like this
Oh,
would
yeah,
be something like once
but-
you're making money, we're just losing money. So.
But no, even then though, like, I was like, whoa.
No,
But
it's tough.
that was a quick jump. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone else had anything.
That was the
Nah, that
last
was-
thing.
yeah.
That was the last
yeah,
thing.
that
but
was it
anything
for me.
before.
Oh, and I think we hit the most stuff, and we went for that boxing tangent today. Took up a lot
Yeah,
of the podcast.
did.
I was hoping there'd be something. To,
There's
to-
always is.
to fill
man.
the time.
There's always is. There's
Because
always
today we
something.
knew it was going to be a little bit lighter.
All
It's
right.
a little different.
Well, then let's figure out what we're reading. Oh, well, it's
Probably
part
just
4.
the rest of the book.
So I guess the rest of the book. Okay, so 127 to 1. Are we doing the exercises?
What is it? What do the exercises look like? Let me see here.
They're every single
I think
rule.
we should.
So
I mean, we're gonna have to cap off the entire book.
It's so real quick. It's till
so
like I'm just looking at it. It
197
says
all the
like
way to the acknowledgments.
it says like text a video to 5 to 15 people that you talk to the most. It's all I think it's all like legitimate actual exercises.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to do them all. If we do, now like this is post a video to social media platform where you have the most followers, and like it's telling you to do a little bit more
know.
active.
But does that
stuff.
mean we have to do that?
So what do you want to just read it all and just kind of like?
I think we
see
should.
let's just read it all and see what's there.
Yeah. See what we can pick out from
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
at
okay.
least.
I'm
You
down
can
to
maybe
read
do
it.
something with the Schuher brand on it or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If there's
Yeah,
something
like
that sticks
collab
out to us, I'm down. I just didn't
Okay.
think we all needed to be making all those videos individually this week.
Can you
Because I
imagine?
did. Well,
Yeah,
I
it'd
just
be
did.
a
We're all
lot,
just,
bro.
we're all just like.
That would be a lot.
I only say that because it's almost like not getting done. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Okay,
wanna
so
put
we'll
us in
read
that
all the way up
spot.
to 197. Call it a day. That
Yeah.
means
It's pretty good.
you're on the clock. Next book.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. That's right. I was like, I hadn't even spent too much. I'm gonna be thinking about that today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he will be on the clock. Landon's book is coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. But moving on to our short segments, starting off with what? My
Our
fun fact.
fun fact.
Fun
Let's get it
fact of the day.
started.
All
Let's
right,
get it started with a fun fact.
where is it? Facts box. Cool. Fun fact of the day. When you remember a past event, you are remembering it the last time you remembered it.
It's very true though. I mean,
Whoa.
process it.
That was almost too factual.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
You're remembering the last time you remembered it.
I'm trying to figure out if that's just like so crazy or just like so
It's
basic.
the wordplay.
It's right there.
It's the wordplay.
I like it. The delivery is good though. It's a fact too, and it is fun. Ish. That's a pretty good fact.
Moving on. We got what kind of quote
We got ourselves quote of the day.
Oh gosh. Okay, so the quote of the day. So quick pretext. I feel like this weekend I had this small like revelation. I need to just listen more. Like learn how to. I mean, I listen, but like listen actively more. And so that's what my quote is. Listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, others over self.
I like that.
Yeah.
No one likes a listener that seems like they're just waiting to give their opinion
Yeah.
right away, necessarily. Not like nobody likes, but it's better to listen and feel like that person. So I like that too. All right, here we go. This is another one that requires minimal context because we talked about it off screen a little bit, but Bobby has this podcast that's blowing up. It's been
Stop
going
it. Are
crazy
you
on
serious?
YouTube. No,
This
no,
was
no.
it?
This is just what I'm
That's
talking
so
about.
fun.
Let's go.
It sparked the conversation.
Okay,
It sparked
okay,
the thought for me.
Okay.
So we're sitting here like out of nowhere, right? Doing all this random stuff. Bang, Drake, Lil Yachty,
Yeah.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
If we were running and we could have an interview of anyone, but I'm gonna make it different. For you, if there's one person in sports that you could interview, what would it be? And if there's one person outside of sports for you, business related, what would it be?
This is good.
One sports player that you would interview. You can give me both. You can give me both a sports or a non-sports if it overlaps. But if you have one that definitely sticks out, who would be one person you want to interview on a podcast? Not even for social media, just to be able to ask them your questions. What would you want to know?
This is good, bro.
Wow.
That's a good one.
It'd be someone that you feel like you'd have to like be able to talk, be able to bounce off each other. Otherwise,
I don't
like,
know. So I don't know many sports people, but I would like to know. I'd say maybe almost what's this? Not him though. I need someone that's like, you guys would know, but I would need someone that won it all and then lost it all.
You know who I think it would be
I like
perfect for
that.
him? I asked this question because I think it would be good for me, but now I'm thinking it'd be perfect for him. Magic Johnson.
That would be nice.
Won championships, has owned teams, struggled with like had to shut it all down and had to go away from the sport forever. Now he just bought a stake in the Commanders or whatever they're gonna change the team name to. Owns part of the Dodgers. Used to be the GM for the Lakers and stepped down,
Oh,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
done all kinds of different positions on different sports and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Think like whenever they asked to like what would you rather do, get $1 million or have dinner with someone, I feel like he would be able to give out some
Yeah.
crazy insight.
Yeah, because I'd like to know like the transition
Yeah.
of like you being at the top of your sport and then like I guess it could be really anyone and then like retiring. But like that transition period of like what are you doing next
Yeah.
is like I think I find really interesting because like I think everyone goes through like periods of transitions.
Yeah.
And like how to transition easy and like either like interviewing like a veteran or like someone that's gone through like a sport all their life and then transitioning
Almost like
that. Like,
or even
how they processed it. I think it's really interesting
good.
because then like all of our transitions are like meaningless compared to theirs,
That's true.
But anyways, that's my rant. But who'd
What'd
you
you
pick?
I would have to go with Robert De Niro.
Really?
Yeah,
Robert De
Go
Niro.
film?
I think I just saw a clip of him the other day. Just he was sitting down speaking with I think it was Adam Sandler and Jamie Foxx and one other person. I forgot who it was, but yeah, I just think De Niro he's been so good for so long.
He's a great.
So
Yeah.
it's like I've always been so interested because I feel like consistency is like my worst trait. Even though some people outside looking in, they're like, "Bro, you've been getting better year after year, blah blah blah." But like my day-to-day consistency, I feel like I want it to be so much better. But I look at him. I mean, outside looking in, it's the same thing. He might be inconsistent himself, but I think it would be great to just sit down and talk to him,
Yeah.
just because he's been so great at what he does for such a long time. Like,
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, and he's not in the spotlight. At
No,
all,
he's not.
really.
He's not like
He's like one of
crazy
those
into
low
it.
key.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
and then he does so much, bro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro.
Solid.
What's yours?
If I right now, I think where I'm at with it, sports wise, weirdly, I'm keeping Steph Curry out of it.
Stop.
I'm keeping Steph Curry out of it just for
Why?
right now because
That's
I'm
fair, that's a
because I feel
given.
like that's my default answer for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing his coach. I would go Steve Kerr.
Wow.
Interesting.
He was the
Sting the
GM. Played with Michael Jordan. Was in those practices. GM for the what was it, like the Kings or something like that?
Yeah,
I forget
for
what team it
Mo-
was.
yeah.
GM. Then he was a coach for the
Let's fact
Warriors. Stuff I just feel like he's been able to be around a lot of like different
A
personality
lot of
types.
greats.
A lot of greats and stuff like that. So I think it'd be cool. Outside of him, I think I would like to do The Rock.
Really?
Ah.
So yeah, he's a really great guy. I would want someone that's like trying to be active in like.
He's another one that
It's
like.
the Suns.
Well, you know what? Actually,
manages
never
it.
mind. Ashton Kutcher.
Phoenix Suns.
Ashton Kutcher.
I
do
like
Ashton
him too
Kutcher.
a lot.
He's doing
He's
so
had, like, a
much right now.
perfect-
He's doing
Yeah.
so much right now. And I love, like, I was trying to think about someone that I watched, and I watched him a ton on that 70s show. And then
Wow.
someone that Ashton Kutcher's doing
Yeah,
a lot
I
right
like
now.
either Kutcher or who's the other one that's like very similar to him? Played Deadpool.
Oh, Ryan
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
Yeah, I
That'd
feel
be
like they're.
great.
yeah.
I feel like they're like very similar in
Yeah.
their
There's some
poise
good
and
ones
stuff.
out there.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
got
can
a
you
good
imagine if it
interview.
came down to one, though? If it came down to one, it's like, hey, look, yeah, it's cool. Just say a name. And then you got to say a name.
Just pick
Man,
one.
that'd
yeah,
be
bro.
tough. Gosh, that'd be so tough.
Dude, I don't know. That'd take a while. It would.
It
Out of
takes some soul
everyone,
searching.
Yeah. It's
But-
either I'm going De Niro or Action Bronson. Those are just my two. I love them both. So
There you go.
I like that. Steve Kerr and Dwayne Rock for me, and he just wants someone he can learn from. Magic Johnson would be good for you.
I think that would be a good
I
one.
don't know if
But I like your reasoning, bro.
Yeah.
But because the
sense.
transitory period is like, what are you gonna do?
Dude, like it's anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm
get into
Yeah.
a new job, lose a job, someone passes away,
Right.
like transitioning from being single to married, transitioning from
The opposite.
You know,
married to single.
married to single,
Yeah.
or like, being a father, being a mother, like
Yeah.
there's all those like those are crazy life transitions.
and I know that we're dragging this out a little bit now, but the podcast's almost over. I think it'd be really cool to like you kind of hinted at it, but I'd say like full on like Navy SEAL or someone like that. What would it be like to interview someone whose like entire life operates outside of like anything to do with themselves?
Oh, it'd be
Like you're literally, your purpose of being alive is to fight for a country
yeah.
that I mean, it's impossible to spend all your time in gratitude. So you're basically fighting for a bunch for most people that don't care, and some of
Yeah.
them do.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine just like going to just literal war? It's
Yeah.
not affecting any of our daily lives right now. These
Yeah.
Navy SEAls wake up on a mission at 4 a.m. every single day,
Yeah.
and that's their life until it's not.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
crazy.
that would be a crazy
That's
transition.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is, bro. You literally just wake up and you're in it.
You're
done.
training just in case things go wrong,
Yeah.
and to be the best one to handle it, knowing that like you literally can't even consider your life. Like in our decisions,
It's a
like
bigger
if
picture.
something was going on, it's like, oh my gosh, like what kind of risk is that? Whatever it is, it's like my friend's right there on fire. I'm about to go put out that fire and probably catch on fire with him. Here we go.
Yeah. And no
Yeah.
one will know. No one
Ever,
will know too.
ever.
Those Navy
No one will
SEAls,
know,
you'll
man.
never know.
We
All
go.
right.
It's our
There's
alarm.
our alarm. All right,
That's
we're
our
gonna
alarm.
wrap it up,
Hey,
guys. Thank you
Steph.
so much if you guys are listening still. But until until next